and esteemed youths of Ijon Nation. I greet you warmly from the depths of my heart on this beautiful day, and I reaffirm our leadership's commitment to ethical practices, demonstrating our stewardship of integrity as the President of the Joint Council Worldwide. As President of Council, it's my duty to keep you and the entire Ijon Nation and the general public informed about the Council's activities, enabling you to assess our actions, performances, and hold us accountable as your representatives in the 9th NEC. As you are aware, the IYC has been engaged in about 13 years effort to review our constitution, recognizing that the Ofunama Constitution no longer meets its evolving needs. On December 16, 2024, my leadership successfully organized a national convention in Odi community in Central Zone, Bayelsa State, where we comprehensively reviewed the constitutions of the Joint Council. Some of the key outcomes included adopting option A4 as the sole method in elections during voting, raising the participation age, expanding delegate numbers for Lagos and Abuja chapters, and other significant amendments that were done in the previous constitutions, which now shapes our council's governance behavior. Given the National Convention's supreme authority in the affairs of the Joint Council, which makes it the highest decision-making body in council, its decisions are always final, even allowing for the suspension of extant provisions in our constitution or the entire constitution entirely, and that it only takes another national convention that can override a previous convention's decisions. So with the newly reviewed constitution in place, the Lagos chapter election serves as the first test case for implementing these groundbreaking changes we made at the convention. Now, on the Lagos chapter elections ground, on the 14th of May 2025, which I was presiding over, controversies arose over the exclusive use of option A4 as the voting pattern. However, in order to maintain council's integrity and supremacy of the National Convention, seeing the challenge that the delegates faced, including their desire to maintain the same secret ballot system, announced the suspension of the Lagos election and promised to call for another national convention which would enable us to bring in other election methods, such as the secret ballot system, because the Lagos gathering does not possess the powers to override the decisions of a national convention. Unfortunately, following the suspension of the election, few members of the leadership of the present mobile parliament went behind after the place has closed and were left, conduct an unauthorized election, disregarding the decisions of the National Convention, the National Executive Council, as well as my authority as President of Council. The argument, which falls short logically, is that the new constitution has not been fully implemented because they refuse to sign. So the open secret ballot method can be used for Lagos elections. However, this stance suggests it may not grasp that the core issues is not about the signing of a constitution document, but the National Convention's decision, which are binding until another convention makes changes. While I advocate for teamwork among council organs and every structures of council, the present leadership of the mobile parliament and its few officers have repeatedly undermined the council's progress, even disregarding decisions made by the National Convention, our highest decision-making body. It is sad and unbelievable to acknowledge that few principal officers in the mobile parliament have turned a sovereign over the neck, the National Conventions and every other organs of council in their stridency to show that they are in power today. It is now a public knowledge about their plans to continually sabotage every of our achievements, including the Constitution, our building secretariat projects that is in progress, and even our transition period that is still far ahead. While the IYC strongly disapproves of such unruly behavior, we will address these matters and take necessary decisions together. But at the moment, we will focus on how the Lagos chapter will have and elect their chapter officers and leaders through a legitimate process. We clearly recognize the legacy our founding fathers left for us, and it is our duty to preserve and build upon the foundations. My administration will continually protect the council's integrity, ensuring no individual or group prioritizes personal agendas over the collective good of all our people and our image. While this became necessary as a doctrine of necessity because there can be no leadership vacuum in any place, especially in the Lagos chapter. We have, through wider consultations, we have adopted the doctrine of necessity, thereby setting up a temporary caretaker committee that will manage the affairs of the IYC Lagos chapter. Bearing in mind that the Lagos chapter also has 3 zones dwelling in one place, we have decided through wider consultations to announce 3 persons representing the different zones as interim caretaker management to manage the affairs of Lagos until a new election is conducted after a summary convention will approve the changes as practicably seen in the Lagos chapter that the option A4 pattern alone may not be able to give us a peaceful elections. We have learned from our mistakes in Abuloma and some other incidences where we are cautious of the methods we take that will inspire peace, stability, and internal cohesion amongst our people. And therefore, 3 people have been nominated so far as leaders of the Lagos chapter council. Therefore, please permit me to announce the following names as the leaders. Mr. Amanji Amafina is hereby appointed as chairman, interim chairman to manage the affairs of the IYC Lagos chapter. Mr. Okoro, Mr. Okoro Dito Singh has been appointed as Secretary of the IYC Lagos chapter. We have also appointed Mr. Comrade Oki Anthony as the information officer for this short period within which the NEC will consider a new convention as quickly as possible, because that's the only platform that gives us the power to amend, to review, or to alter any aspect of the previous convention or constitution in its entirety. Therefore, it is our appeal that the general public will give them their support and cooperation in the discharge of their duties. They have a duty to unite the people, the Ijaw people in Lagos, as we move towards these difficult decisions but necessary steps that we will take. I can assure the Ijaw nation that regardless of the deliberate internal distractions and sabotage, we will remain undistracted until we finish our assignment given to us within this period. May God bless the Ijaw Youth Council worldwide. May God bless the people of Lagos, and may God bless the entire Ijaw nation. But we cannot end this broadcast without specifically appreciating the role played by the previous government that had just ended, headed by Comrade Tikima Ariba, the outgone chairman, whose resignation gave birth to the former vice chairman, who stayed in acting capacity for about 42 hours, Ms. Lingere Winifred, who did so well in putting our house together. And I want to use this opportunity to appeal to those who ran the last election that no new person will be allowed to purchase form in the next elections. And for those who, through the electoral process, came unopposed in the last botched election, their positions will remain unopposed. But because we cannot allow processes that negate our principles of convention and that of the Constitution, it is our firm conviction that the election will be done within a period of 2 months, and their leadership will be given the mandate to serve the Ijaw people in Lagos and everywhere their roles are necessary. We thank their peaceful conduct regardless of the pressures, and I appeal that the current interim leadership must work so hard to unite the house in Lagos. May God bless the Ijaw nation. May God continue to bless Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless all of us.
Yeah.